Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's headlines, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says prayers at the Western Wall in the Old City of Jerusalem, a day after claiming victory in Israel's parliamentary election. Senior officials in the U.S. administration say the White House will reevaluate its direction in everything related to its policy with Israel. A fresh round of talks ensued today between Iran and the P5+1 diplomats, in which the Iranian top diplomat said progress has been made. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said prayers at the Western Wall in the Old City of Jerusalem, a day after claiming victory in Israel's parliamentary election. Prime Minister Netanyahu, who intensified his campaign 4 days prior to the election day, made a series of promises designed to shore up his Likud base and draw voters from other right-wing and nationalist parties. He pledged to go on building Jewish settlements in the West Bank and said there would be no Palestinian state if he was re-elected. Now that Netanyahu has won the election with a vast majority, the re-elected Prime Minister thanked Israel's citizens for giving him the post for a fourth term.
אני מאוד מעריך את ההחלטה הזאת של אזרחי ישראל לבחור בי ובחבריי כנגד כל הסיכויים, גם נגד כוחות גדולים. ואני מבקש לומר שאני אעשה כל מה שביכולתי כדי לדאוג לרווחתם וביטחונם של כל אזרחי ישראל.
Although Netanyahu must still put together a coalition to remain in power, his victory all but guaranteed that he will be given the first opportunity by President Reuven Rivlin on Sunday to form Israel's next government, putting him on course to become the longest-serving leader in Israeli history, surpassing Israel's first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion. While Netanyahu's Likud is the largest party, the process of forming a coalition is likely to be difficult. It needs 61 seats in the Knesset, and crossing that threshold will be challenging given the amount of division across Israel's political landscape.
This government will have many members, and they will each pull in a different direction, and managing it will be much more complex for Netanyahu than today's celebrations suggest.
Netanyahu released a statement in which he said he intended to form a new government within weeks, with negotiations already underway with other right-wing factions, including the Jewish Home Party led by Naftali Bennett, the Kulanu Party led by Moshe Kahlon, and ultra-Orthodox groups. The critical party to get on side will be Kulanu, which won 10 seats, making Kahlon the so-called kingmaker, giving his ability to side with either Netanyahu or the center-left opposition.
And I think that he is compelled to appoint Moshe Kahlon, his former protege and current rival, as finance minister, and will therefore find the government that he's about to assemble much less solid than people initially presume.
Prime Minister Netanyahu had offered Moshe Kahlon the finance minister post to secure his support ahead of election. Speaking in Haifa, however, Kahlon was ambivalent with regards to his coalition plans.
אנחנו נשמע, נפתח במגעים, נתייעץ עם החברים לסיעה החדשה, ומשם נקבל את ההחלטה להמשך. אין לי ספק שיש פה הכרעה, אבל אנחנו רוצים את הזמן שלנו.
The heads of the Zionist Union said last night that their party will be in the opposition in the upcoming Knesset. At a press conference in Tel Aviv, party chairman Herzog said that this was the only realistic option right now. He promised that his party will be a suitable alternative to a narrow right-wing government whose, according to him, time is limited. To congratulate Benjamin Netanyahu on his re-election, EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini called Netanyahu last night. Mogherini told Netanyahu that the EU was prepared to work with a new government in Israel and emphasized the need to restart the peace talks in order to reach a general agreement based on the two-state solution. The White House said that President Obama will call Prime Minister Netanyahu over the next few days to congratulate him on his victory. Secretary Kerry called last night. Last night, the White House spokesperson said that President Obama still believes that the two-state solution is the best way to achieve peace in the Middle East. He was responding to Netanyahu's statement during the election campaign, in which he said that the reality in our region here in the Middle East does not allow for the implementation of the two-state solution at this time. In response to Netanyahu's statement, senior officials in the U.S. administration said the White House will reevaluate its direction in everything related to its policy, including protecting Israel and the United Nations institutions. Those same officials, who remained anonymous, briefed a number of American media outlets. They said that Netanyahu's statements raised some very fundamental and significant questions, and that the most recent actions of the government corresponded with the Prime Minister's rhetoric. Meanwhile, with Israel's election results showing a hard shift rightwards in the anticipated new policy of the Jewish state, and with Benjamin Netanyahu's pre-election pledge in which the inception of a Palestinian state during his premiership would not be possible, the United Nations voiced concerns and called on the Jewish state to resume the negotiations with the Palestinians in a bid to find a solution for the decades-old conflict.
It's incumbent on the new Israeli government, once formed, to create the conditions for a negotiated final peace agreement with the active engagement of the international community that will end the Israeli occupation and realize the creation of a viable Palestinian state living in peace and security alongside Israel. This includes the cessation of illegal settlement building in the occupied Palestinian territory. The Secretary General firmly believes this is also the best and only way forward for Israel to remain a democratic state. He urges the Israeli government to resume without further delay the transfer of the tax revenues it is obligated to dispense to the government of Palestine in accordance with the Paris Protocol.
Now on the ongoing nuclear negotiations with Iran, a fresh round of talks ensued today between Iran and the P5+1 diplomats. According to nuclear analyst Kelsey Davenport, who is the director for non-proliferation policy at the U.S.-based Arms Control Association, said both sides are dedicated to finding a solution by the projected deadline, but that political pressure from both sides could slow down progress.
I think both sides are very committed to reaching an agreement. They've made progress on a lot of the more difficult issues over the past few months, and they know that time is short. They set a target date for reaching the framework by the end of March, and they want to meet that goal. Well, I think that that's possible, but the negotiators have given themselves until June to complete the entirety of the deal. However, both sides are facing domestic political pressure, particularly within the United States. The Obama administration faces a Congress that has taken some actions recently to derail the talks. So they know the time to complete this is now, and I think that they can do it before the end of March.
Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said the negotiating teams have made progress in today's talks.
Morning to you.
Have you made progress, sir?
We are making progress, but there are issues that need to be resolved.
Which
Even
issues,
more
sir?
progress is needed, huh?
Which issues need progress, sir?
All of them. No, some of them.
Iran and the P5+1, the United States, Russia, China, France, Britain, and Germany are trying to reach a self-imposed deadline for a draft agreement by the 31st of March, which would allow them to start formulating a technical agreement, which they will try to reach by the end of June. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7israelnews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. For more updates from Israel and the region, please join our Facebook page at TV7 Israel News. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.